Good evening and welcome. Welcome to Fight CPS. Stop taking our children. I'm your host, Bob Pace, and it's a warm welcome. And I do this twice a day, 7 days a week after week, month after month, and year after year. I've been doing this now for 25 months since October of 2023. And this marks the 26th month of talking to you guys about CPS, what I call the Child Protection System. It's a government entity that was founded in 1964 by an act of Congress that directed social services to create a group of social workers to protect our children from neglect and abuse and do something called family reunification. Apparently today, family reunification doesn't seem to be happening. Because right now there's about 50-50 chance you get a fair shake in CPS. And if you don't have the funds for a real attorney and use a court-appointed attorney, it's going to be a terrible, terrible case for you. They're taking so much advantage of people that are low income. Now, we pay the social services and the child protection by our taxes. We work a job, the money goes to the government, and in turn, the government has the money. The only problem is there's nobody watching the money that social services or the child protection system sends out. Billions of dollars go to the state, and from the state, millions go to the counties. Now, in 94, President Bill Clinton signed the law, the Incentive Act, where they said that they'll pay $35,000 per child for every child that's adopted in foster care. It's supposed to be incentive. That's not what CPS is all about. It's protecting our children, but also reuniting the children if they have to break the family apart. It's so hard when a family is broken up. Now, studies have shown that the best parents are the biological parents. So those parents have a hiccup, they can take a parenting class or program, a drug rehab program or domestic violence program, and they can recover from it. It's not the end of the world. But it seems lately they don't want to do that. Now, I have lots of ways you can interact with this live stream. One, you can send me a text message. Please follow the format that I put on the screen. All I ask is your first name and your location. And if you're outside of the United States, please put the country you're from. If you're in the United States, don't worry about putting USA. I know all the states in the United States. But there are approximately 25 countries, and with the US, that makes 26 countries that have called in or text or have problems with CPS. And it's a good group of people I have. They're my family regulars, and they come and go and so forth. But there's about 30 to 50 of them. And anyway, that's one way you can by text a message. Another way is to be a guest on my live stream. To be a guest on my live stream, all you do is send me an email. Looks like we already have a caller already. Good evening, and this is Bob Pace on live stream CPS. And who do I have the pleasure of talking to? Hello? Yeah, hi, Michael. I didn't hear you at first. Welcome, Michael. I wonder why. I'm on live.
Shows me at the point of my phone that you're on, and it didn't tonight.
I wonder why. I hope I'm in the right room. I did have a bunch of people at first. Yeah, it's the right room. It is the right room. It's called Stop Taking Our Children, Fight CPS. Stop Taking Our Children. That's my evening show. Yeah, I hear you fine. Really? Going in and out. Okay, well, let me turn it back up. You hear me now? Hold on. Something's really.
It may be
No, it's not the weather. Hopefully, are you still there?
Hello?
I lost you. Do you hear me better?
Yes, sir. A lot better.
Okay, I don't know why. Wow, we must be having. I must be on Mars or Venus or something. Yeah. Anyway, right. Let me finish it, and I'll be right with you. Just bear with me another minute or two. I'm doing my housekeeping. I just told you how to text a message, and now I'm going to talk about how to be on my live stream as a guest. Now, you just pick 14 shows. I'm on every day, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. On the weekends, I'm on at 8 a.m. Then at nighttime, I'm on all 7 days at 7 p.m. So those are my 14 live streams. All you have to do is send me an email to bobp@vincentwdaves.com. And you just include your name, your phone number, and your email. And then you also put what show you want to be on. If you want to be on all 14 of them, you can say all 14. It would be my evening show, just say the day and evening. I want to be Wednesday evening. Or if you want me in the morning, you just say Wednesday morning. You don't have to worry about the times. So anyway, once I get that email, I'll forward to my show producer, Grace, who in turn will send it to you a link to get on StreamYard. So that's to be of a guest. The rules are simple. We respect one another. We do not use profanity. We do not smoke or eat on the show. And we do not use the names of children, social workers, or the judges. So I love to have a message from you and love to work on your cases. Okay. Now, I think we've gone ahead and um, talked about that. We have Michael on the phone. Michael is from Tennessee. He has a hard case because his children have a strong belief in God, and the CPS was trying to orchestrate not going to church and not giving things. Also, Michael had a lot to learn. He's telling things that will damage his kids. He should not be talking about the case or talking about things that are disappointing to the kids. You know, he always loved to give 7 presents. And so I think he told the kids that I can't do the 7 because of CPS. And that right there is detrimental to his case because you don't want to do anything negative with CPS like that or to the children. But anyway, that's over the spilt milk anyway. We've already moved on since that time. So he knows what to do. And so what's the latest about your case, Michael? What's the latest?
Yes, sir. Okay, I told you, I think the entire time that the only thing that DCS has had to hold against us and stop us from moving forward was pending charges in Alabama.
The criminal charges, right?
Yes, yes, sir.
Now, where you at on that matter?
Tomorrow, I was supposed to be going to a stand-your ground trial and hopefully get it thrown out. My lawyer called me about an hour or two ago, told me that he has some good news and some bad news, and he will tell me the bad news first. So he said that the judge, the hearing wasn't going to happen tomorrow because the judge didn't have a courtroom to have it in. And I was like, okay, so that's not good news. You know, this is preventing me from getting my kids back. And he's like, yes, this is part of the good news. He said that he talked to the DA about it. And, he's never, okay, this has been going on for 3 years, and he's never offered me a plea. Like, they've offered him pleas, interest plea, where I'm not admitting guilt, but in the best interest of my family, so that I can get my kids back, I would accept a plea for a misdemeanor and be placed on probation.
Okay, that's going to work against you in CPS's law case court. That'll be, they are going to use it more. Once you have a conviction of a misdemeanor, you're going to have to really hard time fighting your kids. And since you don't have a real attorney, they're taking, never settle for a plea bargain. It's never any good. If you're not guilty, you should plead not guilty.
Right. That's best interest plea. It's not admitting to guilt.
No, you're admitting misdemeanor. You're admitting to a misdemeanor, and you have probation for 1 year. During that probation period, you'll be taking drug tests, whether they're once a week or once a month. Also, you have a meeting with your probation officer, and it's either once a week, plus they'll come by your house once a week and inspect your house. And you can't have firearms or knives or anything in your house. Also, you have to take additional classes. It's murder. I've been through that. I've accepted a plea bargain. I never said I'd ever do that again.
Right. I'm already on probation in Tennessee, and the way I talked to my probation officer, and he said that because this happened 3 years ago, before I was placed on probation in Tennessee, that it won't affect my probation in Tennessee if I say took a plea.
You're still going to be required to do drug tests and meeting with probation officer.
I don't do drugs. I'm okay with that.
I know you don't. I don't either. But they did a swab test with me once a week for a year. Then I'd meet my probation, and then he came by my house and inspected my house.
My only point, and the only reason I'm considering this, is because right now I know I'm innocent until proven guilty, but right now DCS, that's the only thing they're using against us to keep us from moving on to unsupervised.
Once you accept a plea bargain, it's still guilty. I'm not guilty of what I did, but once they accept a plea bargain, they'll use that against you.
Right.
I mean, you need to talk to a real attorney about this.
Oh, the attorney I have in Alabama is real. He's a real attorney.
What's his recommendation?
Up until now, he's always never even offered me a plea. Like I told you, this has been going on for 3 years, and they've offered him pleas, but he said, no, this is clear cut, stand your ground. We're not accepting a plea. We're not accepting a plea. We're not accepting a plea. I mean, I went to court four times a month for the last year, and now he's saying that we would take a best interest plea, and it would not get out of the way so that nothing's standing in between us getting our kids back. That's the only reason he's even saying for me to consider it.
How's it going to read when you're found guilty, when you accept a misdemeanor charge?
It's not admission of guilt. It's considered as in the best interest of my family. I'm not guilty, but in the best interest of my family, I want to settle this so that it don't. That's what it's gonna.
First of all, why is it taking you 3 years to solve this? You're supposed to, when you're charged, you have a set amount of time to supposed to be brought to trial. No. There's so many days. It's not going to drag you out for 5 years. That's ridiculous.
Yes, sir. 2 years I wasn't even indicted.
Oh boy, I am really lost with Tennessee. So what you're telling me in Tennessee? Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. That's right.
No, it's okay.
Tennessee, and we want to look at the criminal proceedings.
Yeah, the sergeant on the in the case come that night and said it was clear cut stand your ground and didn't even like think I didn't even go to jail that night. It took 2 years and they indicted me for it.
Okay, Tennessee criminal. Hold on.
Alabama.
I got Tennessee. I'm so sorry. I'm just
It's okay. It's okay. Take your time.
Alabama. Okay. Okay. What is the charge that they initially started you with?
Most states it's called aggravated assault, but in Alabama it's called assault in the second.
Now, what's it also called?
Assault in the second.
Okay. In Alabama, assault in second degree is a serious Class C felony involving intent to cause serious physical injury using a deadly weapon to cause injury or preventing an officer from duty. It carries a potential prison time of 1 to 10 years and fines up to $15,000, with,
Just 7 years.
with the average sentence varying, but generally falling within these felony parameters. Um, it says you cause serious physical injury with intent, or you did injury with a deadly weapon or instrument, and you recklessly caused physical injury, attempt to prevent a peace officer, a firefighter, or EMT from doing their jobs.
Well, that's just to add on. I never did anything. What happened was we went over to talk to my landlord at her house, and she wasn't in there. She was outside hiding. And she sent this guy in who I'd never met before. He's like twice my size. And before he walked in the house, he picked up a 2x6. And the first thing he said to my wife was, Rebel sent me in here to handle business. And Rebel's roommate, the lady that was there in the house, she's the one who let us in. So I was talking to her roommate in the kitchen when I hear a man's voice. And I look around the corner and I see this man, this big man holding a 2x6 right in front of my wife. And I'm like, what's going on? My wife, like she could see the fear in her eyes. So I walked towards him. I told him I was a petty lieutenant instructor, a level 4 Lotus Kitchen black belt. That please don't do this. You know, I had my hands up in a non-threatening position, trying to talk him down, to explain to him what was going on. And when I got close enough to him, he reared back to swing the 2x6. He ended up hitting me in the side and hitting my wife in the leg. And I wrestled him down to the ground, and I started throwing elbows. Well, he reached back and grabbed the crowbar at that time. And I used my 2 arms to double team his 1 arm that screwdriver, a hammer, and a hacksaw. And I was like, the screwdriver's going to kill him, the hammer's going to crush his skull. I picked up the hacksaw, but when I picked it up blade facing him. So I set it back down and flipped it over and posted up and hit him with the back end of the hacksaw. Well, he raised one arm, and as I was pulling back to hit him again, it hit the back end of his arm. Okay, are you picturing what I'm saying?
Yeah, I am. I'm just saying that this is really serious.
Yeah, and when he rolled belly down, I discarded the weapon and got him in a rear naked choke. And at first, like, because he had his hand on that crowbar, he wasn't letting loose of the crowbar. I was just going to pass him out. But eventually, he was like, give him some leeway so that he could talk to me. And he was like, please, just let me go. And I'm like, look, man, if you release the crowbar, I'll let you go. I'll let you up. If not, I'm just going to pass you out, man. And he released the crowbar, so I let him up. We shook hands, and I walked back over to my house. Well, when the cops got there, they asked us what happened. They automatically put me in handcuffs. They didn't understand, the situation I was in. They didn't give us a chance to talk. And eventually, they just was like, this is stand your ground. And 2 years went by, and they indicted me for it.
Wow. Why'd they wait so long to indict you?
I have no clue. My lawyer says that not only is it stand your ground, but it's also self-defense of another woman or child.
But weren't you attacked first?
Was she attacked first?
No.
As soon as he come in, he said, Randall sent me in here to handle business. He had a 2x6 in his hand. When he hit me in the side with it, he actually hit her in the leg at the same time.
Yeah, I know about that part, but before that, why did it escalate to using physical force? Why?
The lady that lived there sent him in to hurt us. I don't know.
Why would the lady direct a stranger to hurt you?
All right. To explain that, I have to explain to who this woman is. She was our landlord / my stepdad. My mom had boyfriends for many years in Tennessee. Well, they split up, but he cared about me like I was his son. He always told everybody I was his son.
Were you his son? Were you his son?
No,
How can he be your dad and you're not his son?
there's a difference between a father and a dad.
What's the difference? I never knew there was a difference.
My father provided sperm. My dad cared for me and loved me.
They're still the same. Okay. How were you created? By the father or the dad?
Father.
The father created you.
Right.
Okay.
But I don't really know him. He abused my mom, so I got away from him when I was 6.
So you had your stepdad, you had your stepfather become your stepfather, right?
Right. They never got married, but he was her boyfriend for years, and we grew. We had a great relationship. Well, my dad and my mom ended up splitting up, but she was his boyfriend, or she was his girlfriend, and she had a motorcycle. She let him use her motorcycle, but then called after an camera of him riding it, called and reported it stolen. Well, he ended up running from the police on it and wrecking, and he died in the hospital. Well, she comes to us and told us that, he wasn't going to make it out of the hospital alive, but I needed to contact the rest of the family and let them know. And at that time, we were looking for a place to live, so she was like, offered us a place to live. Well, that day we found out that she was actually the one who called the police and reported her motorcycle stolen. So we went over there to talk to her, and when we did, her roommate answered the door. And we were talking to her roommate. We didn't even see her. We didn't know she was there. She was outside somewhere. And we were talking to her roommate when that guy walked in. I'd never met him before in my life. I've never seen him before in my life. All I knew was he was a guy twice my size with a 2x6 arms, and my wife was like, "Hey, you could see fear in that room." So I did whatever I had to do to defend her with a 2x6 arms.
Okay.
But yeah, they're willing to drop the charge down to a misdemeanor and put me on probation. So
why did they dismiss the charges? Why did they dismiss the charges? Why do they have to have the charges?
I'm going to court tomorrow for them to be dismissed. I was going to court tomorrow for a stand your ground trial. And that's remember the 10th is when I go to court for the DCS case. So I was hoping that because of the stand your ground trial, I would be able to go to court and say, look, I've got these charges dismissed, but the judge doesn't have a courtroom for us to have the trial, so we won't be able to have the trial tomorrow. It'll be put off another couple of months. That was the bad news the lawyer had to tell me, is that we weren't going to have the stand your ground trial tomorrow.
So when do they plan to have it?
I'm not really sure. If I don't accept the plea, then probably in a couple of months. That's the problem, though. I want to get this settled immediately so that, so that when I go to court the 10th to try to get my kids back, there's no way DCS can say, oh, well, he's got pending charges. No, I won't have pending charges.
Well, if they have you go and agree to the charges, they necessarily won't give your child back because then you've admitted guilt.
It's not admitting guilt. That's the best interest plea. I'm not saying that I'm guilty to anything. I'm saying that it's in the best interest of my family for me to settle these charges. That's why he's only accepting a best interest plea, not just a plea of where I'm admitting I'm guilty. I'm not guilty, and I'm going to stand on I'm not guilty, but it's in the best interest of my family for me to go ahead and get these charges settled.
Well,
Because as of right now, that's what they're using against me to keep me from getting my kids back. And I know how you feel because I feel the same way. That that it's free, they're gonna use that against me. But that's why I talked to my lawyer, and my lawyer said that that they're already using this against me. This is what is preventing me from getting my kids back. But at least the reason why they're able to use this against me is because this charge carries at least 7 years. So if they give me probation, then it's kind of a lose-lose, but at the same time, they won't be able to use it against me anymore. It'll be a federal charge. And these charges were some 3 years ago before this CPS case was ever opened.
But if you go and admit you're guilty, you're still going to, it's, you know.
It's not an admission of guilt. That's the point.
Well, reduction in from a felony to misdemeanor is still a mission of guilt.
No, sir. Not a best interest plea. It's not. It's saying that it's in the best interest of my family to resolve. That's the whole point of the best interest plea. If I took a regular plea, then I would have to say guilty. But that's not what this is. This is a best interest plea. It's saying that I'm not guilty, but it is in the best interest of my family to settle these charges.
Okay, in Alabama, a criminal case, the term best interest primarily refers to two distinct concepts. The best interest plea, also known as all-forward plea, and the general advice that an individual is to consult with a lawyer to determine the best strategies for their situation. Now, the phrase best interests of the child is a separate legal standard used exclusively in family law and child custody cases in Alabama. It does not apply to adult criminal proceedings. A best interest or affordable plea allows a defendant to plead guilty to a criminal charge while still maintaining their innocence. The defendant accepts the conviction and its associated penalties because they believe that, given the circumstances such as strong evidence held by the prosecution, accepting a plea bargain is in their best interest to avoid the risk of more severe sentence if they're to go to trial and be found guilty. Is that what you're trying to do? It says no. Okay, it says there's no administration of guilt. The defendant does not have to verbally admit to committing the crime. According to evidence, the defendant acknowledges that the prosecution has enough evidence to likely secure a conviction at trial. Legal consequences. The plea is treated as a standard guilty plea for the purpose of conviction and sentence, with all the same consequences: potential jail time, fines, or be considered a felon. Court discretion. The use of an afford plea is not a right and must be approved by the prosecutor and the judge. Determine your best interests. More generally, what is in an individual's best interest in a criminal case is a strategic decision that depends entirely on specific facts and circumstances of their case.
Right. I don't want to move on for another 2 years.
Now, an experienced Alabama criminal defense attorney will review the charges, ensure you understand the exact allegations and potential penalties, evaluate the evidence, assess the strengths or weaknesses of the prosecutor's case, explore options, advise on options, which might include negotiating a plea bargain to a lesser charge, seeking a dismissal of the charges, or preparing for trial. Protect your rights. Ensure your legal and constitutional rights are protected through the entire process. It is always to your best interest to consult with a qualified legal profession as early as possible when facing criminal charges. You also find resources to help you find an attorney on the Alabama State Bar website.
reason I'm considering it is because up until now, up until today, being that I have court tomorrow, and then I have court. I mean, I might not be having the trial tomorrow, but I do have court tomorrow to talk about the plea. But the very next day, I have the DCS case. And up until now, my lawyer has never even offered me a plea. They've offered him pleas, but he's never brought it to me. He's like, no, this is clear-cut, stand your ground, and it's also self-defense of another woman or child. We're going to fight this, period. And today he called me, told me that, because he knew that I was wanting to get this thrown out or settled tomorrow. And he knew that he knows that I'm for the tenant. So for the DCF case here in Tennessee. So he knew the circumstances, and when he found out that I wasn't going to have he's like, they're going to use this against him, the tenant. Let me go talk to the DA and see what I can do. Well, he ended up talking to the DA, and the DA is offering a really, really good plea that it's going to settle this case and get it out of my way so that I can move forward to getting my kids back.
Well, this is really informative, and it's taking me back that I still don't think you're doing the right deal here. There is no admission of guilt, but does the prosecution have enough evidence to do a conviction of you?
No, sir. They have nothing. They tried to say they have body cam footage, but we received the body cam footage, and it's just me saying the same thing I've told you. They bluffed us a couple of times because I've had a stand your ground trial lined up 3 different times. And they tried to say, we're going to say you entered the house unlawfully, and we didn't, her roommate let us in. Like, they kind of, they prolonged it and made it last over and longer. And that's kind of why I knew what situation I was in with the DCS and the way that they're using these pending charges to keep me from getting my kids back, keep me and my wife from moving forward with unsupervised visitation. And he just wants to get it resolved for me.
Yeah, I can.
I trust this lawyer. He's a very good lawyer.
Well, I can imagine it's risky because I've always told never accept plea bargains.
Me too. I wasn't even like up until this week, up until today, I've never even been offered a plea bargain. They offered it to him, but he's never brought it to me because he's like, we're getting these charges dismissed, period. But in the situation we're in with the time frame, I go to court tomorrow, and then the very next day I have DCS court. So he knew I wanted to get these charges settled before I go to court to try to get my kids back.
So, what is your trial tomorrow about?
The trial that was lined up tomorrow was supposed to be the stand your ground trial, and the judge ended up not having a courtroom to have the trial in, so it was going to be put off again. And Drew's like, we can't continue to do this, man. He's fighting to get his kids back. Let's settle this for him. Let's get him out of here and get him on his way to, getting his kids back. You want to look up my lawyer?
Well, I'm just
He's really well recommended.
no. I'm just right now reading about the Alabama. See, that's the equation. Oh boy. You better get everything in writing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I wouldn't walk out of there without that because I have to be able to provide it the very next day.
Because what's worried me is that the CPS may reverse on you. You see, this doesn't include CPS.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and like, I don't know.
See, the thing is, and the thing that Drew told me, my lawyer, is that this happened before this DCF case ever was opened, so it has absolutely nothing to do with it. And the only reason why they're able to use it is because it is pending. If I can get it settled, then it's no longer pending, and it happened 3 years ago anyway. So there's nothing that it can do to use that against me.
Wow.
For this DCF case, I've had to do anger management, parenting, domestic violence, a psyche eval. I mean, I've got a lot of things like since 3 years ago. You know what I mean? I have all my certificates that they've also led us to time management and money budgeting and all that classes. We've got all those. So I mean, they can try to use it against me, but we have that through my probation. They can, say that even if I wasn't wrong 3 years ago, he's done this class and this class and this class to fix that, Which I wasn't. I did what any good man would do to defend his wife.
Yes.
I mean, I could have tucked my tail and run. That was a big man holding a weapon. He was. Like, I'm not going to lie and say that he wasn't a scary man. He really was. Like, I fully was scared. Like, I'm not going to lie. Like 280 pounds of a man holding a 2x6 in his hand, 6 feet from my wife. I've seen fear in my wife's eyes, and that's all it took,
Yeah, well, I'm glad you're able to subdue them without too much harm.
Right. That was the thing. Is even though I hit him with the hacksaw, he still had that crowbar in his hand. Okay, he started it off with coming in and telling my wife that the rebel sent him in to handle business. And she's like, handle business, babe? And I look around the corner and I see him there standing, and I look her in the eyes and I see fear in her eyes. And I walk up, I'm like, look, man, please don't do this, My name's Michael Rowland. I'm a level 4 notification. You're black belt. I'm a petty lieutenant instructor. This is what's going on. Please don't do this. And he ended up rearing back and swinging. So I took him to the ground, and that's when he grabbed the crowbar.
Now, why did the CPS case come later?
Actually, DCS come out that night, but they seen no wrongdoing, and they didn't open it.
Mean the same night you're having the allocation in Alabama, the CPS reported an allegation against you?
Because the cops arrived, investigate. Yes, sir. They came out that night and seen no wrongdoing and didn't even open up a case. That's been my point the entire time. Is why are you going to hold this charge against us and keep us from moving forward and getting our kids back? The night and PCS came out and said there was no wrongdoing. It made no sense to me. But it's because it was pending charges. I could still face serious prison time in their eyes.
Yeah, yeah. So,
You see what I'm saying?
what does your court-appointed attorney say about this other attorney doing the plea bargain? What's he said to you?
I'm going to talk to him first thing in the morning.
Good, good. You got to hear what he has to say.
He did say that I need to get it settled as soon as possible and to let them know as soon as I did. Because when I talked to him, I told you we were in his office for 4 hours. I told him what was going on. I told him I'd have to stand your ground trial. And he was like, good, this is the only thing they're using against you. You need to settle this immediately. And when you do, let me know.
Wow, wow.
So I believe it's a good, like my lawyer said, it's a good thing and it's a bad thing. It's a good thing because I can settle these charges, but it's also a bad thing because the charges ain't going to get dismissed like I thought they were going to do. I'm going to have to take a plea and be on probation. But the probation is not going to affect my Tennessee probation. The probation is not going to affect the DCS case because, like I said, I'm already taking drug screens. I'm already visiting a probation officer. We always go to Alabama. We live right next to Alabama.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not too big of a deal for me to just take more drug screens. I'm okay with that, you know. As long as I'm moving forward in this TCS case, you know, I'll do whatever I have to do. But as of right now, with pending charges, they're not allowing us to move forward. I did talk to my probation officer in Tennessee, though. He said that as long as I didn't do jail time, it wouldn't affect my probation in Tennessee at all.
Well, I'm thinking, my mind's racing through my mind, trying to resolve this.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I'm thinking real hard for you because I don't want you. I mean, with my case, when I accepted the plea bargain, it made my life miserable for a year. And if I had held my ground and let the jury trial try to convict me or not convict me, then I would have been cleared of those charges.
I've been going to court every month, 4 times a month.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Okay, hold on 1 second here, Michael. Don't go anywhere. I want to talk to the rest of the people in my room. I've kind of ignored them. I should be able to catch up with them. I'm so sorry, my family in my room. Justin John is Tony the Tiger from Ostenago, New York. It's a girl, Cassandra. She has a 14-year-old boy that she's trying to get back. Erin is from Tennessee, same place as you are, Michael. And she's had 2 children taken from her, and she's trying to get her last child to don't have to terminate the rights. Yeah, Aaron, that is Michael. She said that sound like your voice, so it is there. And so she said, "Hello, Michael." Now, Justin, John, Tony the Tiger, Cassandra said they put charges to shut you up if you're not taking their in a fighting back situation. Yeah, that's what she's talking about. To intimidate you into conforming to the ways, keep them from getting caught. Further, Justice John says, anyone else notice if you bring up sexual abuse with your child and have proof that you get violated and ignored after that? Justin John also says, almost done uploading my videos of proof to YouTube. Once that's done, I've added some other things. I want to say and be known, even be shared a link for access to the stream so all the world can see. Now we have a new person here. You could be better. I don't know where you're from. You could be better. Can you please tell me your location and maybe a name? It would be easier than call you could be better. Justin John says, if you can understand my situation, how it's gone, and how actually it is, and the outside factors, and how and why I'm in the situation, I am my son is a pawn to force me conforming. Cassandra further says, I have criminal charges pending as well as 3 felonies. Wow. She has criminal charges pending and 3 felonies, 2 misdemeanors, and one that is a charge because I said something about my parents trafficking and selling my sons. Boy, that's a lot that you have there, Tony the Tiger. Aaron further says what they do is they try to scare people into taking a plea because they don't have enough evidence. But they act like they do. It's so true, Aaron. They had enough evidence against me, but they try to scare you into taking the plea. CPS is an entirely different court. That's true, Aaron. And Aaron says Justin John too, so she agrees with Justin John in New York. Justin John says 7 months now, no contact with my son. How can I pursue to do something about parental alienation? Well, you should have visitations with your son. I don't know why you stop have visitations with your son. That's really important that the parents have visitations. They may have to be supervised or on Zoom meetings, but you should still have visitations. Unless your rights for parents have been terminated, if your rights to be a parent have been terminated. I don't know about your rights there, Aaron. Okay, I've talked to Cassandra, Tony the Tiger, Justin John. That's all the same person. And Aaron, I'm pretty much caught up to being here. We have Michael from Tennessee who is trying to digest whether he should accept the plea bargain on a criminal matter that has been brought to him in a timely fashion. Usually, most trials are seen. You have to be seen after you make your. They got to be seen right away. It isn't something that stretches out for months and months and months. Now, if you ask for a postponement or ask the court for a postponement, then that's you. It's not the court. You have to be careful because you're entitled to speed and speed and speedy trial and treat with a lot of respect. Now, Michael,
Yes, sir.
if you accept the plea bargain, what would the plea bargain read?
It would be, I think, assault in the fourth, which is a misdemeanor, and I think it's a year's probation. And fines. He said fines too.
I don't like that. I just don't like it. There's something I don't like about it.
I feel the same way. That's why I'm still hesitant on it because I am not guilty. I did defend my wife against a male attacker with a weapon. So I mean, I'm in a situation where if I don't, then it's gonna be put off again, which is gonna make my
Well, they're trying to hold that on your head there. You're entitled when you have a criminal case to a speedy trial. Why are they going so slow with this trial?
Like I said, I didn't even get arrested for this. The sergeant on staff that night was a friend of mine, and well, an acquaintance. I wouldn't call him a friend, but he was an acquaintance of mine, and it was clearly stand your ground, and so they didn't arrest me. But whenever they brought it up to the grand jury, they indicted me for it.
Wow.
2 years later.
Wow. I'm trying to.
The man was full of blood in there, and like less than a minute of an altercation.
But still used a weapon against him.
Right.
So you're not innocent. You really are guilty.
No, I'm innocent because with stand your ground in Alabama, like say a man pulls a gun on you. If he's got that gun pointed at you, you do not have to wait for him to fire. You can point your gun at him and fire before he has a chance to. But you have to be under immediate danger. So the fact that he brought in the 2x6 and threatened my wife with it, that's where I have a little leeway. He had already used a weapon, and then when I took him down to the ground and he dropped that weapon, he grabbed a crowbar. So he had already used 2 weapons on me, tried to use 2 weapons on me. When I looked over and seen a weapon, I knew that I could use it, but I didn't want to either. I didn't want to kill this man. So instead of hitting him with the blade part of the hacksaw, I hit him with the back end of the hacksaw. I actually set the hacksaw back down and flipped it over.
Wow. Well, here's what Alabama says about standing the ground. Alabama's stand your ground law allows individuals to use necessary force, including deadly force, to protect themselves or others from imminent serious harm or death, without a duty to retreat, provided they are lawfully present and not engaged in illegal activity. The key is a reasonable belief of immediate danger, but does not grant a free pass. Court scrutinizing provocations proportionally. If you were the initial aggressor, often require a pretrial hearing where the defendant must prove justification to avoid trial.
Right, that's what I was going through. That's the stand your ground trial. It's where
Yes.
in a regular 12-man jury trial, they have the obligation to prove me guilty. In a stand your ground trial with just a judge, I have to prove to the judge that it was stand your ground. So in the case with a 12-man jury trial, it's up to the district attorney to prove me guilty. In your ground trial, it's up to me to prove to the judge that I am not guilty because of stand your ground.
Well, Alabama's stand your gun law plays an important role in many criminal cases. This self-defense law provides legal protection to individuals who use force, including deadly force, to protect themselves or others, which your wife, from harm without first attempting to retreat. Understand your ground. You're justified in acting in self-defense without retreating, but you can still face initial criminal charges, what they're trying to do, for assaulting another sinless offense. You need an Alabama criminal defense attorney who knows how to present the stand your ground defense properly to avoid wrongful conviction. This law changed how many self-defense cases are handled in Alabama criminal justice system. It eliminates the duty to retreat and gives clear guidance on when the use of force is justified. The foundation of Alabama's stand your law gun is based on 3 basic requirements. First, the individual must be in place where they have a legal right to be. This could be their home, workplace, public place, or any other place where they're lawfully allowed. Second, the person must not be engaged in illegal activity at the time of the incident. Third, there must be a reasonable belief that someone is using or about to use deadly physical force against them. When these conditions are met, the law provides strong legal protection for protecting oneself. Individuals who use force in self defense get immunity from prosecution and civil lawsuits. This is a significant departure from traditional self defense laws. It often prevents criminal charges to begin with. One of the most significant changes in Alabama's stand your ground law is eliminating the duty to retreat. Historically, self defense laws require individuals to retreat from a dangerous situation if they could do so safely before using force. When someone claims stand your ground, they must follow a specific process. The defendant must file a motion with the court to assert their immunity under the law. This filing triggers a pretrial hearing where the defendant must present evidence to support their claim of self defense. The burden of proof is on the defendant to prove by a preponderance of the evidence they use force legally. When force is used in self defense, law enforcement officers will investigate the incident to determine whether it is lawful. The investigation will include examining physical evidence, interviewing witnesses, reviewing surveillance footage if available, and analyzing the circumstances of the incidents. The findings of this investigation will play a significant role in deciding if the prosecutor files charges and stand your ground defense will work. Again, stand your ground has something important exclusions to prevent abuse. Someone who triggers a confrontation cannot use this doctrine. That means if you start a fight or provoke violence, you can't claim self-defense on a stand your ground right. So you did not start a fight, you did not provoke violence, right?
Right. All three of the standards. So
Okay.
that's what gets me about this. If I would have had a trial tomorrow, then I would have been able to be acquitted of these charges, and I would have went into court acquitted of them charges on the 10th for DCS. But because the judge don't have a courtroom, it's going to be put off again. I just can't afford that. I need to get these settled.
Okay. I'm going to give them some thought tonight before I make my final recommendation. I think you should too. When's the deadline you need to do this by?
1:30 tomorrow is when I'm supposed to be in court.
For the Alabama criminal charge?
Yes, sir.
With accepted. Wow. And what is your Alabama criminal attorney saying?
Saying that we have these charges beat, and he thinks that the DA knows that, and that's why the DA is trying to accept such a good plea. Is because he knows or she knows we have her beat. If this trial would have happened, we would have been able to win. You know, and he says so. We have her right there, and we should get the best possible plea we can get tomorrow.
Okay.
For it to be settled tomorrow, because that's the biggest thing is I have that deadline.
When can you call your CPS attorney? When can you talk to him? Good, good, good. Will we be able to come to my show at 10 o'clock?
I should be able to. What time is that here?
Well, that's 10 to 11, 11 to... It's 1 o'clock your time. It's 1 o'clock your time.
It's 10 o'clock here.
What time is it right now?
10 o'clock.
So you're 2 hours ahead of me. So tomorrow at 10 o'clock, it's going to be noon your time.
Okay, so 12 o'clock?
Right, 12 o'clock.
I'll call you on my way to court.
Exactly. But meanwhile, you talk to your CPS attorney in the morning about it.
Yes, sir. What do you, he says, if he says that I should do it, do you agree with him or?
Well, I think if your two attorneys say they agree it, I'll concur with that. I just think it's very careful why they're trying to push you the plea bargain. If you're not guilty, you should pursue it out there. What's going to happen? It's going to delay another little bit of time. I know that's lost time with your child, but it's better not to have it on your record.
No, I agree with you. I do agree with you.
I mean, if you don't see your child for another month or two, what difference is it going to make? You're not seeing them anyway.
Right. No, I understand where you're coming from.
I just don't like the idea. I never have liked plea bargains. I've never seen a good plea bargain.
Right, especially when I'm in the situation I'm in, and if I would have had to stand your ground trial tomorrow, I would have won. I know for a fact I would have won. My lawyer knows for a fact I would have won, and the DA knows. But the DA also knows that I'm going through these charges with, or not charges, but this case in DCS, and I need to resolve immediately.
Well, it's whether you resolve it with CPS this month or next month is going to make no difference.
The case I'm coming up on with the DCS is a visitation hearing, so it's not even a permanency hearing.
Okay. Well, give it some thought. I'm going to have to end my show. I didn't realize it's after 8:00. It's 8:14, and so I've gone way over my time to help you out here, Michael. So what I want to do is I want to get ready to turn off my show. I want to thank everybody that has. I'm going to take my phone number down and put up Doge and put that up there. And then I want to thank Aaron from Tennessee. I want to thank Amanda Jean. She's new. She's not new, but she's fighting an ICWA case in Oregon. She came in at 8:14 just now. So you need to come in early, Amanda, so I can talk to you about your ICWA case, your Indian child welfare case up in Oregon. We have Aaron here. And Erin's going to call you after the live stream, Michael. She's going to talk to you. Okay. And then Justin John, thank you. That's Cassandra, Tony the Tiger from Ostenego County, New York. And we've already talked about Aaron, and we've already talked about Justin John. You could be better. I don't know where you're from. You could be better. But you're welcome in this room here. I'd like to know further about you. Aaron, let me see who else there. Justin John. Okay, that's everybody. The only person I did not really is a new person here. You could be better. I don't know where you're from. I don't know where you're from. But anyway, I want to thank everybody that has called in or been part of my live stream. I want to thank Michael to talk about his case. He's got a tough one. They're trying to force him to do a plea bargain, and we got to make sure it's the best deal for him. Now, I put the Department of Government Efficiency on the banner there. Please read it. It's the way that you can go to it at the top level, the federal level. If it doesn't work for you at the county level, then you must go to the district attorney at the state capital level. If that doesn't work out, then you go to Doge. There's the website, 2 phone numbers, area code 202 is the White House, and the email that you can send things to for help. So that'll be on there. Now I'm going to end this show with a video. Please watch your video. And remember, you don't stand alone. You're not alone out there. I'm here to help you. So don't give up on your children. Keep calling here. Keep coming here. I will help you one way or another. So I want you all to have a good night, and God bless you. And I'll see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
A vivid picture is encrypted in your mind as the critics get in line like they're witnessing a crime. But then you notice there's a shiver in your spine from the feelings of discontentment and bitterness combined. Heartbroken when you listen to the judges. Another kid's innocence corrupted, and if you go against it, it's destructive. Consider this predicament the toughest, but we believe in a system fit for justice. Child Protective Services only pretends to save it. The one solution for this is worthy of instant praises. 30 years of experience with relentless cases. Allow me to introduce him. This is Vincent Davis, defending you when they don't think a mother fits the role. Is it juvenile dependency or government control? Observe the pain in their eyes. It's time for us to realize we are the last one.